to the She Leads podcast. I'm your host, Adrienne Garland, CEO and founder of She Leads Media, a global media company dedicated to the advancement of women leaders and entrepreneurs worldwide. I'm also an adjunct professor at NYU and Rice University, where I teach on the topic of entrepreneurship. I'm a mom to two wonderful young men and married to my best friend from college. Join me each week as I dive into raw conversations with remarkable, uncompromising, and inspirational women entrepreneurs and leaders. My hope is that these conversations and their advice will encourage you to put yourself out there and gain the visibility that you and all women deserve. We're all about stripping away the sugar-coated conversations and moving boldly in the direction of our magnificent dreams. For far too long, women have been conditioned to soften their words, modify their actions, and show up in the world to conform to outdated at best and harmful at worst cultural norms and ideals. Why? To keep those who are outside of the power structures from gaining power, prestige, wealth, and influence. This has prevented women from being recognized and respected as the powerful leaders that we truly are. The She Leads podcast is here to shine the light on all the incredible women, to encourage us to show up, speak up, and showcase the amazing work we do. Speak with confidence about the innovative and transformational thoughts that we have, and celebrate the positive impact that we are making in this world, both personally and professionally. So let's do this. Let's lead. Hello, and welcome back to the She Leads podcast. This episode is brought to you by the She Leads Podcast Network. It's the podcast network for women, by women. Today, we're here with Jana Nagase. Jana is originally from Sao Paulo, Brazil. She's currently a film and TV critic based in Los Angeles, passionate about indie movies. She's been writing for Gazeta News, the biggest Brazilian newspaper in the U.S., based in Florida since 2012. You can find her on her own website and YouTube channel at Jana on Camera. And in fact, it's her 10th anniversary, just like it's the She Leads Live 10th anniversary conference. And at her YouTube channel, she does behind the scenes, not only for big studios, but also for the independents. She's a voting member of the Critic Choice Association, Film Independent Spirit Awards, and the Brazilian International Press Association. Welcome to the She Leads podcast, Jana.
Thank you, Adrienne. Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here to talk about a little bit of what I do and to inspire someone that is listening to us.
I'm so excited to speak to you and hear all about your journey. We talked a little bit before we started the recording here about the fact that you are an immigrant from Brazil, which is such a large and diverse country. And I know that coming here to the United States is not the easiest thing to do. So, and especially in the media world. So can you talk a little bit about what you did before you came to the United States and what prompted you to even come here in the first place?
Yeah, I moved to the U.S., actually to Florida, to Miami in 2001. But before that, I graduated Bachelor in Journalism for one of university in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, PUC, which is the Catholic university there. And then when I moved in 2001, I did my postgrad at Miami for broadcast communication, and then after that, I started working in the business. I used to work doing press, like doing press relationship with a big corporation in Brazil. But when I moved here, I started working with music, and then moved to the to the movie entertainment again, to the like programming, TV, films, and entertainment again.
I love that. So what I heard when we talked a little bit before we started recording is that you are very interested in promoting behind the scenes, not only for those big studios, they get enough promotion, but for the independents. So what is it that has drawn you into more of the independent filmmakers?
Yeah, I think what they bring to the table, I think to each project that they work with is like different. They try to be creative because they don't have a big budget. So they try to be creative and then to to see how they can do it. And sometimes the projects are so more it's better, like more attractive when you have a smaller budget, when you have a big budget, because you think that it's easier to do like a, I don't know, a blockbuster movie. And when you have this small budget, you can be more creative, you can work more efficient. I think that's why I like to talk to them, and also to give them a platform to highlight their project and to show the world, like, look at this, those are amazing people, hard work people that can have a big future, and later on do a big budget movie as well.
Yeah. So, can you talk a little bit about Gazeta News? It's the biggest Brazilian newspaper in the U.S. It's definitely not something that I read on a regular basis. I have heard of it, but can you talk a little bit just about the readership, and just can you talk a little bit about it?
Yes, this is the Gazeta is already in their 30 years here in Florida. Not
Wow.
here in Florida, over there in Florida, because I'm in California. And it's in Portuguese, and they always dedicate to talk to the Brazilian community here in the US, not just, you know what I mean? Because sometimes
Mhm.
we watch some news when you go online, we trying to find news from Brazil, but sometimes you need to find news, local news, because we are living here. So, and then that's why this is their goal. I've been writing for them since 2012. Before it was a weekly column, and now it's a bi-weekly. They have 16,000 issues print bi-weekly, and their online visibility is like 375 millions unique monthly views. I think I
Wow.
got it right. Yes. They also have an Instagram, they have a YouTube channel, but they are trying to, the main goal is to serve the Brazilian community here in the US, even with like news from Brazil, but mostly from here in the US.
How big is the Brazilian community here in the U.S.?
Oof. Here, we have a lot of us here. I
Yeah.
remember, yeah, I remember, like, I'm not sure the
Yeah, I'm
numbers,
not
I'm not
sure
sure, but I
either.
know, especially Florida, they have a big
Mhm.
community there. We are all over the place. Every
Yep.
place that you go, you find a Brazilian one, but the more concentrated ones are in Florida, California, and the New York, Massachusetts,
Mm,
Boston, the area over there too.
amazing. So, what are the main things that you are interested in promoting and talking about with your own Jana on camera YouTube channel?
Okay, I just find information here. There is an estimate in 2022, the Brazilians that live here is 1.905 billion Brazilians living here in the US.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Well,
Yeah.
welcome. That's amazing.
Yeah, you see? Yeah. So come back to your question. What I like to talk about, like, for example, if especially newcomers, actors, newcomer directors, I like to talk about how they got to the project, how was like developing this project, what got, for example, for actors, what got your attention in doing this type of project, and their goals in their career as well, like what some of them have a dream to a dream actor that they want to work with, or a dream
Mm,
director, or a dream character that they want to do it. So that's the main goal, especially with the newcomers. And for the more established talent, with directors, actors, producers, it's like what was about that specific project that got their attention. You know what I mean?
mm.
Like why they
Yeah.
are doing that, and why is that, depends on the topic, why is important, why they are talking about that. You know what I mean? Why it was important to be talking about that specific project in this moment right now. For example, we have this movie Civil War
Hmm.
from Alex Garland that released like a couple of weeks ago, and
Yeah.
talks about a civil war here in the US.
Yeah.
And so why is it important to talk about this? Because that can happen, you know what I mean? So those are kind of stuff that we talk about like on the interviews as well.
What is your favorite genre of entertainment or movie?
I love movies. I watch a lot of TV, of course, series, but I love movies. I think movies give us take us out a little bit
Yeah.
from what's going on in our life and then bring us back again. And the series you need to now there is this binge watch all the time that you especially on one of the platforms Netflix. You
Yep.
watch it at once and sometimes it's a little different from before, but I love watching TV series, don't get me wrong. But I
Yeah.
love movies. I love movies.
Yeah. Have
And
you,
the
is that,
genre
yeah.
and the genre that I love the most, I love romantic comedies. Now they're
Ah,
bringing back those. So I love
yeah.
those ones.
On your channel, do you also interview people that have made movies for some of these new platforms like Apple TV and Netflix and all of
Yeah.
that? Or, yeah, you do. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
I do.
wow.
I'm a Prime Video, Netflix. Like today, right now, it's premiere interview with a Brazilian actress, Alice Braga, and Joe Edgar for Dark Matters. Is an Apple
Mm,
TV Plus series. Also do Roku channel. They also
oh,
have
yeah.
some stuff there too. Paramount Plus, Disney Plus. So everything that is they invited me, I tried to do, not just for theatrical stuff, but also for the streaming platforms.
That's amazing. And do you find that it's difficult to get the interviews with these, like the producers, the directors, you speak to the actors? Is that something that because they're sort of on a press tour already, that you're able to just secure those interviews? What is that process? Like what is sort of behind the scenes? What's that process?
Yeah, today I'm gonna tell you it's easy because I'm already on those lists. But I'm gonna talk about my experience in the beginning. In the beginning was very hard because you need to send the viewership. You need to send how much subscribers you have, how much people access the newspaper, the how many issues they have, like per week or by weekly. Everything changed because before in 2012 was not just online like we have right now, but it was a little bit different that we have right now. It's
Mhm.
mostly online numbers, and then you need to prove, and then when they get you a spot to interview a certain actor or director or producer, then after that you need to add it, or we need to translate, or need to post publish, and then you need to send the links to them. So you need to prove yourself that
Mhm.
you a trust person. There is some interviews that you cannot ask certain questions,
Right.
so you need to follow the rules, you need to follow the embargoes. Those are the stuff that you need to follow to get into those lists. You know what I mean? So the studio can trust you, can be
Yes.
with you, like work with you, together with you. So that's why I think I'm very, let's say, successful on that, because I've been following these rules like for quite some time. You know what I
Right.
mean? Even before I start working for Gazeta, because before I was a producer for a channel that used to go to Latin America.
Mhm.
And then even over there, we have to follow the rules. And then since then, I think they already know, oh, she follows the rules. We trust her. She's not
You're
going to post
credible.
anything before the dates, like the embargo, and even talk about the movie without, letting us
Wow.
know or just following us. Yeah.
Is this life very busy for you? I can imagine, right? There's all
Yeah.
projects that are happening all of the time. So, in order to
Yeah.
get these interviews, you have to sort of be on call all of the time in order to get these interviews, speak to these people, write up these stories, produce them, get them out there. What does that whole process look like?
Right now, it's more than inviting me. I don't need to, unless I want someone specific. I'm like, oh, can you talk to when they do not offer me in like interviews? I just tell them, oh, look, there is this Latino, this Brazilian person, talent here. Can I talk to this person? But mostly they send the invitation to me. I send it back the request that I want to interview this and this person, and then after that, they get approvals from the studio, from the talent, from everybody before sending to me the screenings. The screenings, even I go to the movie theater to watch, or
Hmm.
those special screening rooms that have here a lot of here in LA, or they send me a link to watch it. If it's a series, usually series, they send us a link to watch it, and then I need to watch everything because I don't like to do any interviews without watching the project.
Hmm.
And then I then set up the interview, then I have the interview, and I need to, but before that we prepare the questions and all this, but is a little time. For example, when sometimes the series has 8, 10 episodes, it's like, if you think about it, are 10 hours of watching stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not just one per week, it's like sometimes it's happening like 3 or 4.
Wow.
A lot of stuff going on. For, you know what I mean? For example, today I have an interview after we are talking here. I have an interview, a junket, they call junket. I
Yep.
have 2 interviews in person, and I have 2 interviews, virtual interviews for another project. So
Wow.
that's my day like.
Wow. You know, just as a side note, I am currently watching Palm Royale on
Oh, I love
Apple
it.
Plus. Oh my goodness. I love Kristen Wiig more than anything in the world. I love like her voice, her cadence, I love everything about Kristen Wiig. I think more than anything in the world, I think she is the whole entire package. She is so funny and intelligent and stylish and just everything. And that show is so intriguing. And oh my God, Ricky Martin.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
I
so
know.
good. It is so, so good.
It's so good. It's so good.
I
For
haven't
that one,
finished
for
it yet.
example,
Yeah.
yeah. But for that one, for example, I interviewed the producers and one of
Yeah.
the actresses, the black actress that plays her friend on
Oh,
that
yes.
community.
Yes. In the bookstore.
Amber. Her name, the actress is Amber. Yes, and
Yes.
she's, so both of them are on my channel. If you want to check it out, they
Oh,
are there.
yes, I will. I will. Oh my gosh, I will. That is so awesome. Yeah, I just had to ask you. So, this YouTube channel, this is your business, right? So, you have
Yeah,
taken your expertise, right? And you have your job with the Gazeta, but then you have also created your own business from your area of expertise. And I think that that is something that is very interesting to our She Leads audience, right? And it's something that a lot of women do. We have our area of expertise and we try to figure out how can we bring value to people that see our expertise as something that's valuable, and how can we turn that into something. So you created a YouTube channel out of that, and it's how do you monetize a YouTube channel? It's really based on viewership, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. It's viewership and subscriptions,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it's a challenge right now because when I created a channel, actually who created the channel was my husband.
Ah.
He's my first fan. He was the one that, you need to put this out, you have so much interviews, you do so much cool stuff, everybody needs to, because before I used to do the interviews and it was going to the drawer in my in my desk, and he
Ah.
told me you need to do it. But then when we create the channel back then, was was kind of easy to monetize in the beginning, but then YouTube changed everything
Yeah.
and became a little harsh. And then it's still difficult to live like with that, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not impossible. But I think it's good because people can see like what other people are doing. I think people can see what I'm doing because I'm from Brazil. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I'll be here talking
Mm-hmm.
to those amazing people, like some directors that I grew up watching, some actors that I grew up watching, you know what I mean? Meet
Yeah.
them, talking to them, and I talk the projects. And I think that can, I don't know, inspire someone one day to keep doing, even with my accent, which I'm
Yeah.
very proud of that and very proud of me. It's not easy. there's a lot of no's, but
Yeah.
you're gonna be doing, but YouTube still is still difficult to monetize
Hmm.
by itself. They change all the time, the algorithm.
Yeah.
Every time that oh, I think I'm doing great, and then suddenly change, everything goes down again. It's kind of a
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask. Like, where do you see your business, your channel? Where do you see that going and growing in the future? Because you are a content creator, right? You have access because of your credibility. You have access to content that is very popular, right? So, where
Yeah.
do you see your next step? Where do you see this next aspect of your business going?
What I like to do, like with my business, I need to trying to I'm trying to revamp, like create a throwback program, which is, I think, is interesting to see some of the, like the, I have interviews since, I've been doing these interviews with talent since 2006,
Mm,
2007. So I have some old interviews that is interesting to see some of, especially, I'll tell you an example, like the director Guillermo del Toro.
yes.
He won the Oscars for
Yeah.
Pinocchio, for Shape of Water. But I have
Hmm.
interviews with him before that, before Guilherme, who is this person? You know
Before
what I
he
mean?
was
So
he who
I
he
think,
is. Yeah.
yeah. So I think it's I would like to do that, and also I would like to give more space for, especially for independent people, Latinos, independent, like from any country, to talk about their goals, their, like what inspired them, their projects, or anything like that.
Do you have any advice for other people who are wanting to come to the United States from whether it's Brazil or another country, and sort of make their way? The reason that I ask this is number one, I'm interested in your advice, but also I've mentioned this on the podcast before. I teach at NYU in addition to Rice University, but at NYU, we have a lot of students that are from different countries. And oftentimes they're here on a student visa and they fall in love with New York City because who wouldn't? And they want to stay. And it's difficult when they are looking for jobs. A lot of times companies don't really want to sponsor, students to stay. It's a process and it's tough. And so these students end up having to, go back home, and it makes them sad. Not that they don't want to go back and see their families and things like that, but they want to stay at least for a couple of years because they do it. 4 years is actually a short amount of time, especially when you get used to New York City and all the good and
Yeah.
bad that it
When you
is.
get used to, you had to leave.
Yeah, right, exactly. And I've spoken to many of them, and I feel so bad because they want to stay and they have to leave. So, do you have any advice? Not necessarily like how do you stay, but if you are able to sort of get a job, how do you really make your way, and how do you find your way as someone who wants to sort of integrate and also maintain your identity and your culture, because I think that's something that truly adds to us, right? Like I think that there was maybe a time when people that immigrated here wanted to just become American, and I don't know that that's the greatest thing. It's better
Yeah.
when we can learn from all cultures. I like that better.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. And I do have an advice. I think, first of all, we need to believe in ourselves and believe that you're capable and believe that what you are doing. For example, for me, I love journalism. I think I love interview people. I love to talk to people, but you need to love what you do.
Mm,
Doesn't matter which business you are in. You need to love what you're doing. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Even in media. And I think to have your own personality, your own character, don't try to imitate anyone. You know what I
Mm,
mean? That's
yeah.
what I'm going to do. I wasn't born here. I speak English, I have an accent, and I'm going to have this accent forever. That's
Yeah.
not going to change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think you need to believe it and believe it that you're going to be able to accomplish what your goals with what you have. And if you
Mm.
get, for example, the competition is really big, we know that. But if
Mhm.
you believe in that, you trust in yourself, and you use all your knowledge to accomplish what you want, for sure you're going to be successful. That's for
Yeah.
sure. That's for sure. For me, it was like the main goal because, of course, I receive a lot of no's.
Yeah.
Oh no, oh no, oh no. Even in Brazil, oh no, you don't have that face to do a TV presenter, for example. I received no's, but look at me
Yeah.
now. I have my
Yeah.
YouTube channel. I never gave up because I think I have something to give to the society, to give to people, and to learn from other people as well. So
Mm.
don't give up, and try to find your way to that, like trusting yourself and trusting your knowledge, and listen as well.
Mm.
Like I said to you, to get to
Yeah.
the point that I listen to the studios, I listen to the people that are talking to me, and try and follow the rules. And I think
Mm.
you can get that.
I love that advice so much. And I'm sort of listening from two points of view. I'm listening, of course, for my audience. And I love the advice of trusting yourself and being exactly who you are. I think that social media has done a real number on us
Yeah,
to make us think that we have to be this idealized version of ourselves. And I think at one point, maybe that we all thought that we had to be that in order to be popular, but or whatever. I don't even know if that's the right word, but I think everybody's kind of sick of that now, and they are looking for people to be authentic and real. And I think even the word authentic and genuine, I think that's even overused. I think people are trying to be authentic, and that's getting strange. So really, to be yourself is tough, and to show up as yourself is tough. But we need to, and especially as women, right?
yeah,
And then I'm also listening to this sort of, through the lens, and the lens isn't the right word, but of my students. And I actually just last night, it was our last class for our undergraduate students. And before they left, I said to a couple of them, you know, it was unsolicited advice, but I said to them, be yourself. I said,
yeah,
I teach entrepreneurship, and I said, don't let anybody else tell you who you are. You know, like just hold on to who you are in your heart. And yes, you want to listen to advice, and there are things that people can offer you, but do not change fundamentally who you are. Don't let people sway you into doing something that you don't want to do. You have it in you, and
yeah,
it's so true. Don't give up. There is a long game here. And I believe that more and more, like as I get older, it's like, if you have that marathon mentality, you see people falling away. You do. Just keep going,
yeah.
you know?
Just keep going. You're
Just
gonna
keep
receive
going.
no's. Sometimes you're not
Yeah.
gonna have water in the middle of the way, but sometimes you
Yeah.
have water. Some people will give you a chance here, give opportunity here,
Yeah.
and I think that, and be, of course, sometimes you need to improve yourself,
Of course.
but
Yeah.
don't change your essence. You know what I mean? Like we have, like I'm not gonna change my accent, so
Right. Don't change your essence or your accent.
you
Yeah.
know what I mean? But that's not going to stop me to try to accomplish what I want.
Of course.
This is just
I
one
love this.
example of something that
Yeah.
no, it's very important. Very important.
And it's interesting, it's like we do not want to listen to the same. It's so boring, right? It's like
Yeah.
having an accent is the thing that makes you turn your head and listen up. And in a lot of ways, it makes you lean in because you need to listen a little bit more closely to make sure that you're catching what's being said. So I like that a lot.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's a really good tip. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Jana, please tell everybody, where can they tune in to your YouTube channel? We know what it is, but if people want to also get in touch with you just to maybe get some advice or connect with you, where can they do that?
Yeah, they can find me on Instagram, which is Jana on camera. They can Twitter X, which is the former Twitter, Jana on camera as well. I'm also on Facebook, Jana on camera, and I have my website www.janaoncamera.com, and the YouTube channel is the most important, Jana on camera. And just send me a message on the DM me on the private message. I can give advice. Follow me and get to know all the latest about movies and TVs here in the US or in the world,
Amazing.
because sometimes I do international movies too. So,
Oh, I love that. Amazing. Well,
yeah.
thank you so much for spending your time with me and with the She Leads audience here today. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Now, thank you so much, Adrienne, to having me, and it was a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you.
This and all of our episodes are brought to you by the She Leads Podcast Network, the podcast network for women, by women. Thanks so much for listening to the She Leads podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support us, please share it with others, make a personalized post about what you took away on social media, and please leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. This helps our guests and our show to continue to gain visibility and traction. To learn more about how She Leads Media helps women to gain visibility, you can follow us on Instagram at She Leads Media, or you can head on over to sheleadsmedia.com. If you'd like to network with me and other amazing women, don't forget to join us each year for the She Leads Live conference. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon. This is the She Leads Podcast Network.